So my story starts when I was 15, which is 7 years ago. And I was in my last year at Camp Bocceball, which was the place that I had spent a week each summer since the age of 10. And let me tell you a little bit about Camp Bocceball and what it means to me, still means to me, because that was the most special place in the world. Each summer, that was the best week of my life. It was so much fun. And it was my last year. And every Friday at Camp Bocceball, which is the end of the week there's a big dance. And you want to have a date to the dance, because having a date to the dance is better than not having a date to the dance. And it's a big thing at Camp Bocceball, and people are really fun with it. They have all sorts of creative ways of asking people. A cabin mate of mine once went on the loudspeaker and said, "Hey, Emily," I don't know what her name was, but asked her to the, in front of, it's really fun. And so I'm wondering, okay, who's going to be my date to the dance? I don't know. I'm going to have to meet everyone and see what goes on. And I'm at free time. And I meet this girl, and I actually knew her from back in the day because we went to kindergarten together, and we're reconnecting, and she's really nice, and she's really pretty, and we're hanging out. And I realized I had a huge crush on this girl in kindergarten. I even wrote her a love letter. And, we didn't get married or anything, but it's cool. I'm reconnecting with someone from my past, and she's cool, and we're hanging out throughout the whole week, and I think I might try and ask her to dance. It looks like she likes me, and I like her, and cool. And I'm thinking about how I'm going to do it, and I have a bunch of chances, but I'm waiting for the perfect moment, and I haven't done it yet. And I'm eating lunch, and I'm thinking about how I'm going to do it. And my cabin mate, he stands up on the table in the middle of lunch, and everybody gets quiet. And he looks right at the girl that I like, and he says, "Will you go to the dance with me?" And she says yes. And I'm like, oh. It's a couple hours later. It's free time. I'm sullen, kicking some rocks, and, I'm all right. But I'm a bit sad because I like that girl, and she said, oh, and I see her, and I'm like, oh, hey, what's up? And she comes over to me, and she says, why didn't you ask me to the dance? And I said, what? He asked you that. You said yes. She said, I was waiting for you to ask me to the dance, but he asked me in front of everybody, so I had to say yes. Well, my spirits got hit with a hammer all the way up to the heavens, I'll tell you that. And I was like, okay, hell yeah, cool. Like, she likes me, not him. Well, let's go. And we're talking and hanging out, and I'm happy again. And she's talking about how our cabin, the boy cabin, and the girl cabin, we're planning on sneaking out later that night because we're 15-year-olds, and we don't really care so much for rules at this point. So we're going to sneak out, and it's going to be fun. And, the day goes on, and we go, and we're sneaking out. It's after taps, and we're all by the lake, and we're hanging out. And word gets out that the counselors have found out that campers are not in their beds. And so there's a hunt going on, a man hunt and a woman hunt, you could say. And we see these lights and flashlights and a group coming, and everyone scrams because they're trying to get back to their beds and act like, they were there the whole time. But instead of scramming, the girl and I, we go out to the soccer field, and we're like, okay, we'll just hang out here. Maybe they'll pass by us, and we'll get to hang out for a bit. And they're not there yet. The counselors they're looking, and we're sitting in the soccer field looking up at the stars, having a nice conversation. It's a romantic moment. What can I say? And it's cool. And I'm like, all right, like, hey, like, maybe I'll kiss her. Oh, I don't know. And the moment's broken because the counselors come up with their flashlights, the manhunt, and they're looking for us. And we got to go. And we get back to our beds. And we're going to sneak out later. We agree. This one, it was interrupted by the counselors. But, we have 3 more days here. We're all going to sneak. It's going to be fun. And so the days goes on, and I'm looking forward to the dance. I find a date, and, it's cool, and we're looking forward to it. And the dance happens, and, it's fun. It's all the 15-year-olds. The end of it, everybody's crying, girls and guys. Everyone's crying. I'm not crying until my counselor comes up behind me, puts his hands on my shoulders, and say, Jack, it's the last moment you'll ever be here as a camp. And then I break, too, and I start crying. And because Camp Bocceball just really did mean that much to me. It was like the best place that I had ever been to. And I really, really wanted to work there after, because you could work as a JC or a lifeguard. And that was my dream. I wanted to work at Camp Bocceball, and I didn't want it to be over. And so we go down to the rock circle, which is what all of the 15-year-olds do, so they can ask the counselors and the staff members about all the camp stories that are told and see if they're real or they're fake. And spoiler alert, like, all of them were fake except for one, but we're all asking questions and having a good time. And myself, being the smart aleck that, you know, I often am, I make a joke and I say, hey, you know, what would happen if a camper that had snuck out earlier, what if he snuck out again and, you know, he'd already got caught? What would happen? And I just think I'm being funny. But then the counselor, he looks at me and he says, that camper will never get hired at Camp Bocceball. I'm frozen in my boots, and I'm looking at the girl, and she's like, oh my gosh, like, what am I doing here? Just exposing my, you know, notorious plans for sneaking out and breaking rules. But now I have a decision to make, because I've exposed myself like the idiot I was, and I either, to my mind, will sneak out with this girl that I really like, or I work at Camp Bocceball. And to me, it's one or the other. And Camp Bocceball was the place that I had loved so much in my heart for all of my life. And so I'm like, I can't risk it. I can't risk it. I can't risk it. He knows I expose, you know, like, they're going to be looking for me. And the night goes on and everybody goes to bed, but the 15-year-olds are staying up and we're hanging out because it's our last night. And I'm talking to the girl and I'm like, yeah, we had a whole like code word and when we were going to do it. I can't sneak out. I'm sorry. I'm going to be a faculty member at Camp Bocceball, and I can't do it. And you know, I don't actually remember what she did in the moment, but you know, I think her face fell and she probably shed a couple tears, you know. But no, but it was, you know, it's done. She was like probably disappointed, I think. But what I do remember is she then went over and was talking to the guy that she went to the dance with, because, you know, I didn't go for it. But I worked at Camp Bocceball the next year, and, you know, I only worked there one more year, and I didn't want to continue working there for the rest of my life or anything like that. And I realized that it wasn't as important to me as I thought that it was. And I realized I should have went for it. And since then, I've decided that I'll never again let fear be the reason that I don't shoot my shot. Thanks.